E inizierei adesso invece la parte dedicata al convegno per quanto riguarda la sostenibilità dei prodotti chimici e delle acque. Io chiamerei Frediani Marco, presidente di UNPAC, vi fa un piccolo saluto introduttivo, intanto operiamo a livello tecnico per aggiornare un pochettino il tutto. Si svilupperà in questo modo il convegno. Innanzitutto ci sarà un collegamento remoto dagli Stati Uniti a Cincinnati, se non sbaglio, con Cristina Raab, che è una delle maggiori responsabili di ZDHC, che farà un intervento di saluto e di buon lavoro. Parlerà poi, se non ricordo male, Alessandra Tortora per quanto riguarda ZDHC e Andrea Meucci per quanto riguarda UNPAC per i prodotti chimici. Il moderatore sarà Domenico Castiello, scusate, che farà un po' da filo conduttore per quanto riguarda tutti gli interventi.
Buonasera a tutti di nuovo, stamani ci siamo già incontrati per l'inizio di questa giornata, di questo evento che sta proseguendo con un programma ben articolato e con degli interventi veramente interessanti. Vorrei ringraziare Arianna Mereu che ha fatto una presentazione ottima per quanto riguarda le tendenze, ci ha fatto complimenti per quello che le aziende hanno riprodotto o hanno cercato di suggerire per quelli che saranno appunto gli articoli che poi sono esposti sopra, che saranno, spero, anche adottati poi nelle concerie. I want to thank Ed for the clear explanation and for the passion about leather naturally. You know, we are very close to you and to the organization, and UNPAC will be very with the strong with you, as you know, we already have talked about, and we have an opportunity later to talk about this. And così niente, si va avanti. Ora c'è questo importante, l'associazione Conciatori ha gentilmente organizzato questo incontro che credo sia veramente interessante, perché si parlerà di sostenibilità e si parlerà di fattori veramente importanti per quello che sono poi l'impatto sui prodotti chimici. Quindi ora inviterei il dottor Castiello, che appunto sarà il moderatore del dibattito e che appunto è il direttore di Ipoteco, quindi sarà lui a portare avanti tutto il nuovo incontro. Prego dottore, buonasera.
Allora, buonasera a tutti e grazie per essere intervenuti. L'incontro di stasera ha un unico filo conduttore, che poi è la filosofia che il distretto si è dato oramai da diversi decenni, cioè lavorare bene nel rispetto dell'ambiente e nell'obiettivo, secondo me abbastanza prossimo, di chiudere il cerchio dell'economia circolare. Siamo l'unico distretto al mondo dove la maggior parte dei sottoprodotti vengono recuperati, rigenerati e utilizzati o nel settore conciario oppure in altri settori. Una cosa estremamente importante, come vedremo stasera, sarà invece un aspetto abbastanza nuovo da questo punto di vista, che è quello del riciclare acqua sporca per darle alle aziende, in modo da diminuire in modo significativo, se non totalmente, l'emuncimento di acqua dalle falde acquifero, con l'obiettivo di rendere dal punto idrogeologico il nostro territorio più sano possibile e in grado di poter affrontare anche eventi abbastanza seri come sta avvenendo negli ultimi anni.
Okay, wonderful. Well, good afternoon, everybody.
Ok, buon pomeriggio a tutti.
And it's really a pleasure to speak to you here today. I'm very sorry that I cannot be with you in person. I'm at the moment in the US at a green chemistry conference, so I'm happy to address you today.
No, io,
over
scusate, ma io non sento. No, I'm sorry, but I can't hear very well from here.
Okay,
Yes,
good.
okay.
Let me start again. Good afternoon. It's really a pleasure to address you today.
Buon pomeriggio,
Again,
un
I'm
piacere
the Global
per me essere qui
Implementation
oggi.
Director at ZDHC, and you will also later in the conference hear from our Southern Europe Director, Alessandra Tortora, who will go into more detail on some of the subject matters. But it's my pleasure to address you with some welcoming statements. Yes, as I mentioned, I'm here in Cincinnati at the moment at the Green Chemistry Conference, and we're having a lot of discussions on the role of sustainable chemistry for innovation across different sectors. It's a cross-sectoral conference, and it really shows, let's say, the potential and the power sustainable chemical management has for innovation and for positioning and placement in the supply chain on the market. And I think that the leather sector plays a very important role in this as well. So translation ongoing?
No, translation is not ongoing.
No, I will proceed.
Avete capito,
Okay, great.
parla della sostenibilità e di quanto la sostenibilità abbia un ruolo importante nell'innovazione. E quindi ora lei è, se ho capito bene, c'è un congresso in corso nel luogo in cui si trova lei, dove stanno affrontando questo tema in relazione proprio all'innovazione con la sostenibilità.
Yes, of course, innovation and also, leadership in the supply chain can only be done in collaboration when important actors come together, discuss and find solutions. And I think a conference like you have today is very important to hear the different players, to hear the different perspectives and find really a future-oriented
Per l'innovazione è molto importante la collaborazione, cioè parlare e scambiare opinioni insieme, lavorare insieme.
Yeah. ZDHC, we are also a proud partner to Impact, of course, and to many of you in the room where we are collaborating with. And we also have a very bold vision at ZDHC. So our vision is to have a widespread implementation of sustainable chemistry, and in that way driving innovations and also best practices across the supply chains, with a focus on textile apparel, but a very important focus also on the leather and the footwear segments.
Cristina, it's okay. You can continue with your presentation.
Okay, so it will not be a translation. I will try to speak slowly. And our motivation there is really to protect consumers, the workers, and of course have a big positive impact also the environment. So environmental protection is a very important element of ZDHC. Such vision can only be achieved if a couple of elements are in place, and it also includes a lot on mindset shift, the right mindset, and the collaboration across the supply chain. In order to realize the potential that sustainable chemical management has for the leather sector as well, it's important to shift the mindset from a product compliance to a proactive management of the supply chain. And in that way, also take innovation leadership by the individual actors starting from the chemical companies, but of course the tanneries and also the customers they are providing to. At ZDHC, we have exactly this kind of mindset that we not only focus on the final end product, but look at how the supply chain can contribute in their actions to a more sustainable approach and outcome also for the end consumers. As I said, this can only be done by a collaboration of all relevant actors. So it's also important to generate a mindset to move from one individual competitive advantage to the mindset of a collaborative impact to be made in the supply chains. And you see here all the important stakeholders we also work with at ZDHC, and some of them are in the room also today. Everybody plays a key role, from the brands and retailers to the production units, the tanneries in the supply chain, of course the chemical manufacturers, but then also the different laboratories and the service providers and certification agencies that can help contribute to the solutions around sustainable chemistry management. And of course, not to forget the very importance of research institutions, academia, and also the role the governments and policymakers can play across this journey. All of them are assembled under the umbrella of ZDHC, where we have the actors across the supply chain present, and they work collectively together on the one hand to develop tools, guidances for the industry, platforms that can be used, as it's really important to have the means also of implementing and measuring sustainable chemical management available. And those actors also work to raise the awareness across the supply chain and also with key decision makers to integrate sustainable chemical management in business practices and also policy practices around the globe. ZDHC is a global organization. We implement on an international scale, but the Italian market plays a very important role for us. We think that a lot of leadership is coming from the Italian supply chains, a lot of front-running thinking, and that the potential for innovation is very high, in particular also in the leather sector in Italy, where you have some of the leading companies in the world also assembled. So we are very happy, to be engaged, with you as a community and in Italy, and really drive this agenda on sustainable chemical management, wastewater management, and related practices as a showcase also to many other stakeholders and countries in the world. ZDHC takes a holistic approach to sustainable chemical management, which we think is absolutely essential to make long-term improvements and sustainable impact. Our approaches, and you will hear a little bit more later from Alessandra, are structured around output, process, and input. And for us, really, the input part is the most essential one, because usually if you have clean inputs, you will increase the likelihood of having clean outputs. And for us, everything starts really at the input management of chemistry. For that, we have been working for several years to set the standard for management of input chemistry in the sectors, including the leather industry. And you might be well aware that we have something that's called the ZDHC Manufacturing Restricted Substance List, which basically is a list that spells out chemical substances that are banned from intentional use at the tannery site. And what is important, it's a very pragmatic list. So for all the substances that are on there, you have technically feasible and economically viable alternatives in the market. So it's really this guidance document for standard input chemistry management across the supply chains. This document is a living document, as also the solutions around sustainable chemistry evolve, in particular with the leather chemical companies, and there will be updated versions of the MISLs on a regular basis. So the next version will come out by the end of June of this year, and in that case, of course, the implementation of the sustainable chemical management practices becomes a moving target and something that is being progressed on an annual and on a continuous basis. It is one important aspect, to manage the input well, to be conformant to the ZDHC standard, and it's very important to move beyond the MISL conformance as well. And ZDHC plays a driving role there on the innovation side, in that we want to drive and we want to scale safer chemistry innovations. And for that, we also have a document that will again be updated in June of this year, which was previously called a research list and will now be called a candidate list. And this is really a document that can show the trends and the innovation needs for safer chemistry, as it outlines chemical substances that are of high priority for which viable technical and economically feasible alternatives don't exist in the market. So that's a document where we help to stir the industry towards the innovations that are relevant on safer chemistry. And of course, we strive to make this available in a very structured way, the solutions, the safer chemistry that is out there, in that we offer a platform, it's called a ZDHC Gateway. You will hear a little bit later more about it, where basically this is a big database of the safer chemistry and also of the chemistry overall used in the sector in terms of their conformity to the ZDHC MRSL and their innovation features related to chemistry, water and energy. So that's something we are continuously building in the Gateway to really help provide also the practical solutions and the visibility to the sector for those better chemistries. I'm aware that a big focus of your conference today will also be the wastewater management and water-related aspect. It's an aspect that's intrinsically linked to a proper sustainable chemical management. And also at ZDHC, we take a standardizing role in that, in that we have wastewater guidelines that are internationally applicable, that look at not only conventional aspects on wastewater management, but also the aspects that are linked to the priority chemistry that ZDHC is pointing out in our MRSL. And wastewater management is a very important topic. We also strive to help guide the industry on the best practices, on the technologies that are out there, and make this basically available on a larger scale and help really the uptake of those best practices. For us, wastewater management is also a way to verify, that the input chemistry was done right. And we have again a bigger platform here in the ZDHC Gateway, where we basically also have the wastewater testing reports worldwide in the platform, and can, based on that, also extract recommendations for corrective actions, for best practices that the industry needs to take. So it's for us really important to have this integrated approach, of chemicals management, but also wastewater management and water-related aspects, to make a meaningful impact in the supply chain. And of course, tanneries play a very big role on the environmental protection in that regard, and also, of course, the treatment plants that are related to that, where we also start to continuously work with them and provide guidance and drive the environmental protection agenda. Again, for us, the leather sector is a key sector within ZDHC. I think we have already many success stories on the chemicals management with our chemical companies that are part of ZDHC very strongly, using our tools and also driving the innovations, as well as with several tanneries that are actively implementing ZDHC. At the moment, on the tannery level, we focus on the sustainable chemical management, as we are only updating the wastewater guidelines for the tanneries. But in a few months' time, we will also have these wastewater guidelines for the tanneries officially published. We had already several successful pilots in Italy that were conducted, where we could really inform the guidance setting, and that will then be also a document that will be rolled out very soon, together with leading tanneries and our contributors. Sustainable chemical management, related innovation, and of course also the proper wastewater management, offers great opportunities in our view in terms of growing competitively, growing also in a sustainable and in a proactive way, and really taking leadership in the supply chain. Based on our work, there's a very clear business case also in engaging those practices. And in the end, it's really about taking this leadership on a very future-oriented topic as environmental protection, and also realizing and leveraging the opportunities on innovation that come with wastewater management and proper management of the chemistry that goes into the supply chain and into the processes. With this very short speech, I would like to thank you all for your support. We are collaborating with many of you already. You're taking leadership in driving this agenda of sustainable chemical management, of environmental protection, and certainly we still have some way to go there, and we are very much looking forward in extending the collaboration there and making together with you a very meaningful impact in Italy, of course, but driven through that also on a global scale. So thanks again for the opportunity of addressing you. I hope next year I could be there in person, but of course Alessandra is there and available for any questions you have. And I wish you a very good event today, much success, very informative sessions, and then also a nice evening following the event.